One thing that's often overlooked when exporting photos in Lightroom Classic or other post-processing software is borders. And borders are a very powerful tool to create some separation between your photo and the background, especially when framing your photos or when exhibiting your photos in an exhibition. So today we'll take a look at how we can create borders around our images in Lightroom Classic, and then we'll also see how you can do borders in Photoshop. Unfortunately, Lightroom has some limitations when it comes to borders, but fortunately for us, Photoshop does not. So let's quickly take a look at how we can do this. As you can see right here, I've already imported the image that I will be working with today, and I'm using this particular photo because black and white images tend to create a more powerful and dramatic look when you add a border around them. This doesn't mean that you should only put borders around your black and white images, but I just would like to use this particular image for my tutorial. As you can see, I've already done some basic adjustments and some editing to my photo, so I will go ahead and show you immediately how to add a border inside Lightroom Classic. So in order to create a border in Lightroom Classic, we will go immediately to the Transform panel in our developer options, and we will go ahead and select the fifth slider and put a value of 95. You can change this value to your liking depending on the border that you would like to add. The smaller the value, the smaller the image. So as you can see, if I reduce the value, the image gets smaller. If I increase the value, the image gets bigger. So this is literally just a trick to add a border around your image. Unfortunately, as I said, Lightroom does have some limitations, and one of those limitations is the fact that your border must be white in Lightroom Classic. There's also another limitation where your borders will be uneven if your image is not square. And obviously most of the images are not square, so your borders will practically be uneven when using Lightroom Classic. Now, if you like this kind of border, you can go ahead and export your photo as you usually do, and your photo will be exported with the border. However, if you would like to create an even border around your image, all you have to do is right-click your image and open it in Photoshop. Now, in order to set a border in Photoshop, all you have to do is go to the Image drop-down menu and select Canvas Size. As you can see right here, we have a width and a height value, and what we would need to do is increase these values by the amount of border you would like to add. And for example, if you want to add a 1 cm border around your image, you would need to add 2 cm to the width and another 2 cm to the height, because the extra value that you're adding will be split between both sides. So for example, if I want a 1 cm value on each side, I would need to add 1 for this side and 1 for the other side, which is 2 cm. I'm going to click OK, and you will immediately see an even border around your image. We can also do the same exact task by going to the Canvas Size menu, increase our values by 2 cm, or whichever value you would like to use right here, and we can select our own color. For example, red. I'm not sure who would use this color, but you can do this as well in Photoshop. One other thing you can do in Photoshop, which is limited in Lightroom Classic, is the fact that you can crop your image before adding a border. Unfortunately, Lightroom does not allow this option because anything that is cropped out of the image is still maintained in your file. So if you decide to add a border or decrease the scale, Lightroom will just basically decrease the scale of your image and show you the information that you had already cropped out. Fortunately, Photoshop does not do this, and if we decide to remove these distractions from the bottom right here and crop just slightly from the top, we can now add our border as we did before. So right there, I've added a 1 cm border all around my image, and I have not introduced back the things that I cropped out. I can go ahead and save this edit right here and go back to Lightroom, and now I can see the difference between the original image and the crop and border that I've added in Photoshop. As you can see with this border around it, this image looks more dramatic and much more interesting in terms of composition. So I hope that you enjoyed this video, and please make sure to try out some borders on your images, because the power of borders is really immense and you can really change the way your photo looks when you add a simple border around it. Thank you for watching as always, and please make sure to like and subscribe.